Good morning, I guess. By the time you're seeing this, it'll be Monday morning. I hope you all had a great Halloween. I just wanted to do a quick kind of fun video, just messing around with art. It's been a really long time since I felt like, I don't know, I had any creative mojo. So with all the things going on in my life right now, I just wanted to play just for the sake of playing. So I pulled out some book pages that I have a ton of from, I think it's from my Reader's Digest book. And I usually use them for collage, or I use that for like my glue book when I'm gluing pieces down to get, so I don't get glue everywhere. But I can never go through them, so I thought I wanted to watercolor them so that I could doodle or paint or draw or something, stamp on them, and then use that for collage fodder. So this is the first part. You see the little palette at the top of my pages. So I end up in a little bit, you'll see, I end up tossing the paint out of that. It's Arteza watercolor paint, but it's not meant to be potted, if you will. It's, yeah, at this point I think I'm throwing out the little dried up clusters because they're not vibrant enough. It's a liquid, like a cream watercolor in tubes. But it's not meant to like dry out and then reuse. You can use it that way, but I just wasn't getting the vibrancy that I wanted. And then the other little pad on the side is one of my Jane Davenport's, maybe? Is it Jane Davenport watercolors? I have a couple of hers that I got. But you can see that hot pink that I just put on my mat. That's the Arteza liquid or creamy, I don't even know what they are. They're just watercolors in a tube, and they're really inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. You get a ton of colors. I rarely use them because I have so many different types of watercolors, and they're kind of a pain because digging through, I want to say is it 60 colors? I think there's 60 different tubes. And it's kind of just a pain to use. I really wish that I would have purchased the pan watercolors from Arteza, just for storage, first of all. But I didn't, so this is what we're using. I'm trying to narrow down supplies that I'm going to keep, that I'm going to destash, that I'm going to sell, which falls along the destash thing. But some I might give to my best friend's little girl, just the cheaper stuff, because she loves art and painting. But yeah, I am just literally randomly painting book pages, splattering it, scribbling, not doing anything very specific, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very technical artist, so that kind of goes without saying. But I just wanted something to be able to use for collage, because I tend to stick with like cardstock that's pre-printed, and I just wanted something a little bit different, kind of get back to my mixed media roots, which is what I really, I mean, I love all art, and I go through phases for sure, but I really wanted to get back to my roots. So I'm just throwing down some colors. Hot pink is probably one of my most favorite colors when no matter what I'm painting. If there's paint involved, typically there will be white, hot pink, and black always, unless obviously it doesn't go, which is very rare. I mean, black and white go with everything, I think, but the hot pink, not always. But when I'm doing like a messy mixed media, and I don't even think that I'm in frame here, and I'm really sorry. Can you even see? I mean, you can kind of see the top of my page. Oh, I'm using actually right here. I wanted to just use up the paint on my mat, so I grabbed some blank index cards that I had and was just throwing color on there while I drink my chai tea. I only buy this tea once a year, and I only buy it around fall from Costco. In fact, I don't even know if they sell it any other time of year. It's Chamba chai. And I've been buying it for years, and it's delicious. So it's unfortunate that I'm really not much in frame. I literally sped up this video because it was an hour and 20 minutes of me just playing. I was watching an old Disney movie called Watcher in the Woods. If you haven't seen it, I want to say it's from the 70s. Has to be from the 70s, maybe the early 80s. It was the very first horror movie I've ever seen. And people will argue it's Disney, so it's not horror, but it's definitely a horror movie. And I remember it scaring the crap out of me, and I loved it. It was on TV. My mom was like, oh my God, what are you watching? And that movie started my love of horror. Funny, I don't like Halloween. I mean, I love Halloween. I shouldn't say that. As a kid, never went trick-or-treating. Too scared. I hate masks. To this day, I love horror movies. I love Halloween, but masks freak me out. So it's very rare that I actually go out on Halloween. And I forgot, excuse me, to buy candy this year. So I won't be passing out candy either. And there's no way I'm going now. There's not going to be anything left, and I don't want to be the house that passes out the yucky candy. So I think some of these pages, I literally just splattered. So now I think I'm just going through and I'm going to just start doodling and adding contrast to these pages. They may not look fantastic when I'm done with them, but it's okay because they're going to get ripped up and cut up. So I think, trying to figure out what I did here. I pulled out a dirty paint palette. Oh, okay, yeah. I was trying to use my black liquid acrylic, fluid acrylic, excuse me, to do some asymmetric writing on this page, but it was not flowing out of this tip. And I don't know why. It had paint in it, so I thought, well, maybe it's just not enough, or the tip isn't good enough or big enough. So I grabbed another bottle with a bigger tip and started using that, and it worked. I did add some more paint to the container. It was working, but it was way too fat, you can see. So I just scribbled all over it. I added a little water to try and water it down to see if that would help the flow a little bit better. And I was just doodling on this just to see, and it was too dark and the center was too liquid, so I didn't use that anymore. And I think I just grabbed my Uniball pen, which is waterproof once it dries, and just started doodling, and I didn't really like it. I just kind of, like I said, I'm gonna rip these up and collage with them, so it doesn't really matter what the end result looks like. It's not a work of art that I'm gonna hang on the wall or anything. So just adding contrast. I am not good at doodling. I know if you practice, it's better, but I'm just not a good doodler. And that's white gouache. And I like to use white gouache for splatters because I can reactivate it with water, but it's opaque. I have white fluid acrylic, but that's more of a shiny. When it dries, it's a little bit glossy. So then I realized I didn't like the last one, so I'm gonna go and draw some random leaf pattern with a pencil. And clearly you can see, like, I keep erasing, and I'm just not confident in my random doodles. Never have been. And then I'll go over it with my pen. And you see, like, I squirted, it's not water on the paper towel, it's alcohol, just to try to clean the tip. I think that pen might be done for. I think I just need to open a new one. I have a whole pack of them. But those are my favorite pens for mixed media. They draw perfectly on acrylic paint. They draw on watercolor paint. They draw on pretty much any surface. And as long as you let it dry, it is waterproof. So you can paint over it or get water on top of it, and it's not gonna smear. The pen was a little too fine, so I grabbed my Micron pens. which I like micron pens, but they're very disposable. They don't seem to last very long before you have to get a new one. And for what they are, they're kind of expensive. So once these are done, I'm not gonna buy them anymore. I have plenty of other options that are much less expensive. I do like the fact that they come in different tip sizes, but still not the, I don't know. I guess if I was a pen artist, I would like them more, but I just feel like they dry out way too quickly. And then on this one, I'm just doing a bunch of random flowers, like abstract flowers, if you will. I do like micron because those are also waterproof if you let them dry. You'll see when I go to do the centers of these flowers, I didn't let the pen dry enough, so it kind of smeared. It's funny, I watch other artists that know what they're doing and they use all these fancy tools, and I just feel like I'm not there yet, so I have to use a pink pearl eraser, and my favorite pencils are the Ticonderoga, the black pencils. I can only find them once in a while, so whenever I find them, I buy a whole pack, and then it usually takes me about a year to go through them because I love writing with a pencil. A lot of my writing in my journals I do with pencil because I like my handwriting better with either a super duper fine tip pen like the Pilot G2 .38 pens or a super sharp pencil. And then, oh, here I'm just doing some stamping with black, I think. Probably got paint on my hand somehow. Yes. Oh, no, I decided, oh, I wanted to do some fall colors. I have a really old, I think it's Close to My Heart stamp set. Are they even in business anymore? I loved their stamps. They are such high quality. Not thrilled with the fact that they're an MLM, but they were great quality stamps, and I do have a ton. I used to do a monthly, like, subscription, I guess, with a local Close to My Heart rep, and I would get a new stamp set and paper and ink every month. I have a pretty decent ink pad collection from Close to My Heart, which I'm probably going to de-stash because I'm not going to have room for all of this stuff. So I'm just using some distress ink on the stamps, and I'm using a really fine water bottle to mist them so that I don't get like super sharp impression of the image. And then I don't know what I'm thinking here at the end. I grab a brown colored pencil to try to do some weird doodly outline of some of the leaves. Again, this is just me playing. I haven't felt like creating just for the sake of creating in a while, so this is how you learn, right? And I think I only did 2 of the leaves because I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was gonna look like. But we're gonna make some pretty cool things in part 2. Well, I think pretty cool things with these pieces as soon as they're all done. For the most part, they're pretty dry. I'm still waiting for a couple of them to dry, but I have an idea for some collage pieces that I want to do with them. And then I think that's a Tim Holtz stamp set. I don't have the original packaging. And then the ink pad that I use is my favorite black ink. It's so dark and so juicy. It's almost a little too juicy. You have to be really careful. It's Catherine Pooler, I think. And I think it's Midnight Black. I'll have to double check that. It's the only ink pad that she has that is, I believe, waterproof. You can use alcohol markers with it. But it is such a deep, perfect black. I have archival black, and I like it, but it's never dark enough. It just seems to be like a really faded black, even in the new ink pads. And I know you can get refills for it, but once I found the Catherine Pooler one, that's been like my go-to ink pad for black. And then I'm just stamping some of those butterflies with Distressed Oxide inks just to get like a subtle background. And you can't even, I tried it in pink first and it didn't work. So then I tried it in green, and then I think oh yeah, I'm using an archival green, and I like the way that turned out. So I think that one's gonna be a fun one to use once it's all done. And yes, so you'll see two different water bottles. That one right there, the white lid, that's actually alcohol. And I know you're not supposed to clean your stamps with alcohol. I've been doing it for years. They've never dried out, so you don't have to. But if you want to get like the archival ink off your stamps, alcohol will do it. Alcohol will get out pretty much anything. I use alcohol a lot when I'm doing painting on canvas and I make a mistake. I dip a Q-tip in alcohol and it will dissolve the acrylic paint. It won't be perfect, but it'll erase it enough to where you can get rid of, as long as it's not black, it'll just smear black. But any other color, you can really clean off the image. I do like to use alcohol as an eraser if, say, I'm working on a canvas and I've sealed it with like matte medium, and then I want to go in and add like stamped images, and I mess up and I forget like what, I don't know, if I want to erase it, then I can take a paper towel or a cloth, spray it with alcohol and rub that off the matte medium, and it comes off like a dream. I'm using some stamps that I haven't used in a really long time from my stash. I'm trying to use up products that I have to decide if they're things that I want to keep. I don't think you guys understand when I tell you I have more art supplies than most people. I have been doing this for so long, and I tend to hoard my art supplies. And it's because I've had instances where I've gotten rid of things and then they became trendy again and I had to have them, and then I had to rebuy them. So I've said it before in my videos that nothing is really new. It's all been done before. It's all been created as a product and then came out repackaged. I have the original Sizzix Big Shot die machine, and now they have a prettier version of it. That embossing powder and that white ink pad, I'm not even exaggerating, I've had that ink pad for like 15 years, and it's still incredibly juicy. I don't even have a refill. I've never refilled it. It is the best white ink pad I've ever owned, and I think it's Color Box, and I don't know if you can get it anymore. And I'm gonna be sad when it's dried up. But so far, not even close to dry. And the embossing powder I've had for many years too. It's taking forever. I've never used, so this heat tool is new to me. I have never used it to emboss before. And oh my God, it took so long. Not a fan for embossing. I like my Marvy heat tool better because it heats up and melts the embossing powder faster. And then I think that stamp, that like circle, is Viva Las Vegas stamps. Yes. I went to Vegas a couple years ago and went in there and bought a bunch of, I love their stamps. Those I will not be getting rid of. Those are my favorite, like mixed media stamps. If you like mixed media with stamping, Mixed Media Jen, I don't think she's uploaded in a while. I hope she's okay. She's on YouTube. She does like short little videos doing mixed media pieces with, I think she might be on the design team or something for Viva Las Vegas stamps, but she's got some really great stuff if you like that style. If I remember, I'll link her in the description, but I haven't seen anything new from her for a while. I think she took some time off, and then I think she's posted like 1 or 2 videos in the last year. But she has a whole library to watch if you like that kind of stuff. What am I doing here? When I do voiceovers, I can't see the entire screen because my recording box pops up over it because I do it from my phone. Oh yeah, this is what we're left with. At this point, we're all done, and I'm just kind of showing you the mess, but I promise they'll be cool in the next video. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great Halloween, and I'll see you soon.